And I had to change.
All rise for the pledge.
Starbridge.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just realized I blocked the flag. Apologize.
Yeah.
Could the clerk please call the roll?
No. Yes, Councilman Alvarez.
Here.
Councilman Cullen.
Here.
Councilwoman Eckhart. Here. Councilwoman Hudak.
Present.
Supervisor Hay.
Here. Notations at the exit, in the front, and the rear. Any electronic device, please put it on vibrate. Okay, we have nothing scheduled for the work session this evening. I know in the future we'll have items, but not this evening. I make a motion to go to the regular portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, before we start tonight, we have a revised agenda, and unfortunately, I had already made the backup numbers. So each number that you have is going to be one less. So number 2 is actually number 1. So when I call them off, you can mark it on yours for your record, okay? It doesn't affect the order, just how you read it. I have to pay attention more than anyone. Okay. First resolution, which is marked 2, is actually number 1. I want you to go to the second whereas clause, second line. It talks about building lots. It should read 5, 6, add a 7, 8, 9, 10, and number 11 comes out. And on the resolve clause, number 3, it would be the same. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11 comes out. And when I read it, that's the way it'll be read into the record. Okay. First item is Resolution 83-85, Farm to Market Road, Subdivision 280A. So move.
Second.
Okay. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Southeast hereby designates an area described as 6 interior lots designated as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, depicted on the map entitled Farm to Market Subdivision, prepared by P.W. Scott Engineering and Architecture, PC, as an open development area. In accordance with Section 280A, 4 of the Town Law of the State of New York, and authorizes the Planning Board to proceed with its review of the applicant's development proposal without the requirement that the lots designated as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, created thereby, have direct access to a municipally maintained road, provided that following conditions are met. 1, the Southeast Planning Board complete its review of the Farm to Market subdivision proposal in compliance with all provisions of the Code of the Town of Southeast relating to the subdivision of land, the zoning ordinance of the Town of Southeast, and the provisions of any and all other state and local law relating thereto, included but not limited to any and all approvals or permits required by the New York City Department of Environmental Protection or by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation under Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law of the State of New York, together with any and all regulations promulgated thereunder. 2, the Farm to Market subdivision shall result in the creation of only 10 developable lots. 1 common lot shall remain undeveloped and shall be owned by the homeowners association to be formed. The subdivision plot or map shall bear the appropriate legend that there shall be no further subdivision in any lots depicted thereon. The interior lots 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 shall be assessed solely from access. Access. Is that how you spell that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah? Looks weird to me. Okay. Shall be accessed solely from Farm to Market Road by Field and Forest Court, a private road. 4, the applicant shall form a proper homeowners association, HOA, and record such declarations, covenants, and restrictions as are may be necessary for the purpose of owning common lot, providing for the maintenance of all stormwater facilities and for sharing in the upkeep and maintenance of much of the private road known as Field and Forest Court as is necessitated by the subdivision of the premises. 5, the applicant shall comply with such other conditions, restrictions, or limitations consistent with resolution as may be established by the planning board or the Town of Southeast. And be further resolved that the town clerk shall forward a certified copy of the foregoing resolution to the secretary of the planning board and the building department forthwith. So move for discussion.
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2, the Betachek subdivision, 181, Joe's Hill Road, a 280 application as well. Now therefore it be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Southeast hereby designates the area described as the 5-acre interior lot on the map entitled Betachek Lot Line Adjustment as open development area in accordance with Section 280A 4 of the Town of Southeast Town Law of the State of New York, and authorizes the planning board to proceed with its review of the applicant's development proposal without the requirement that one of the newly reconfigured lots created thereby have direct access to a town or other municipality. Well, I'm having a tough time tonight. Or other municipally maintained road that the following conditions are met. 1, the Southeast Planning Board complete its review of the lot line adjustment proposal in compliance with all other provisions of the Code of the Town of Southeast relating to the subdivision of land, the zoning ordinance of the Town of Southeast, and to the provisions of any and all other state or local law relating thereto, included but not limited to any and all approvals or permits required by New York State Department of Environmental Protection or by New York State Department of Environmental Conservation under Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law of the State of New York, together with any and all regulations promulgated thereunder. 2, the lot line adjustment application results in the creation of no additional lots. 3, the interior lot shall be accessed solely from Joe's Hill Road via deeded easement and right-of-way. 4, the plot or map created in connection with the proposed lot line adjustment shall bear full meets and bounds description of the right-of-way or access easement providing access to the interior lot. 5, the plot or map to be filed in connection with the proposed subdivision shall bear a notation that the interior lot shall be accessed solely from the easement or right-of-way leading from Joe's Hill Road. 6, the applicant shall comply with such other conditions, restrictions, or limitations consistent with the resolution and may be established by the planning board of the Town of Southeast. And be further resolved that the town clerk shall forward a certified copy of the foregoing resolution to the secretary of the planning board and the building department forthwith. So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
3, Town Board approval of the ARB recommendation for Vesio Equestrian Barn. Resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts and approves a report of the ARB, Architectural Review Board, dated July 23, 2015, a copy of which is annexed hereto and made part hereof in connection with the application of Vesio Equestrian Facility, and that such report shall be incorporated in any final site plan subsequently reviewed by the planning board. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4. Set bond, we just did, oh wait, for the barn.
So it's numbers.
Okay, now we're setting the bond. Okay, that's number 4. Resolved that the bond amount shall be established for the project set forth below. Vesio Equestrian Facility, site improvements, $173,400. Erosion and sediment, $23,500. And be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution shall be transmitted by the town clerk to the planning board secretary and building inspector forthwith. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
5, it's a town board approval for the ARB recommendation for Lions Development. Resolved that the town board hereby accepts and approves the report of the Architectural Review Board dated July 23, 2015, a copy of which is annexed hereto and made part hereof in connection with the application of Lions Development, and that such report shall be incorporated in any final site plan subsequently approved by the planning board. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
6 is to establish a bond for Lions Development Corp. Resolved that the bond amount shall be established for the project set forth below. Project name, Lions Development. Site improvements, $570,900. Erosion and sediment, $29,700. Bless you.
Thank you.
And be further resolved that the certified copy of this resolution shall be transmitted by the town clerk to the planning board secretary and its building inspector forthwith. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 7 is a resolution to establish a bond for Vermeer North Atlantic. Now therefore be resolved that the erosion and sediment control bond previously posted by Vermeer North Atlantic in the amount of $25,600 be and is hereby is released upon the condition that the following bonds be established for the project set forth below. Vermeer North Atlantic, 2-year landscape maintenance, $2,000. 4-year stormwater management, $3,450. And be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution shall be transmitted by the town clerk to the planning board secretary and its building inspector forthwith. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 8 is a resolution to establish a bond for 6 Southeast Corp. Now therefore be resolved that the erosion and sediment control bond previously posted by 6 Southeast Corp. in the amount of $23,573.90 be and is hereby is released upon the condition that the following bonds be established for the project set forth below. Project name, 6 Southeast Corporation. Bond amount, 2-year landscape maintenance, $4,000. 4-year stormwater management, $3,000. And be further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be transmitted by the town clerk to the planning board secretary and the building inspector forthwith. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
9 is an establish a bond for Pegasus Therapeutic Writing. Now therefore be resolved that the bond amount should be established for the project set forth below. Pegasus Therapeutic Writing, soil and erosion restoration, $14,100. Site improvements, $82,400. And be further resolved that the town clerk shall forward a certified copy of the foregoing resolution to the planning board secretary forthwith. So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 10. You sure I got the right one?
Yes.
I do. Yeah, just want to make sure I got the right one because of the numbering. It's right, okay. Now therefore be resolved that the erosion and sediment control bond previously established in the amount of $1,200 be and is hereby is continued and confirmed, and a landscape maintenance bond be established for the project set forth below. Druval Heights Realty LLC, 2-year landscape maintenance, $810. And be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution shall be transmitted by the town clerk to the planning board secretary and building inspector forthwith. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to skip over number 11 and ask to waive the rules. As you know, so here's what we're going to consider waiving the rules. As you know, the planning board has met about the Barrett Hill and discussion about the lead agency. If anyone is interested in possibly changing their vote, as you know, the planning board voted 9-0 for it to accept the, or 7?
7.
I increased it by 1.
Just
Okay,
added 2 minutes.
so 7-0, that they should review it, and of course, the town board voted 3-2. So I'm going to make a motion to put it on the table. If one person says no, it doesn't go on the table, and the DEC will make the decision. If someone is interested in changing the vote to rescind that resolution, I have a resolution prepared to read into the record. So, by a roll call to waive the rules to discuss this.
Councilman Alvarez.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Eckhart.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hudak.
Yes.
Supervisor Hay.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to read the resolution that was prepared by Ashley Lai. As a matter of fact, would you like to read the whole thing? So we have such a terrible job of reading tonight?
Oh, sure.
There's probably all easy words in there instead of where to and why not.
There's no accessing. No accessing. Whereas the town board of the town of Southeast is in receipt of a zoning petition to permit non-age restricted multifamily units in the OP-2 zoning district, which would permit the conversion of 168 senior housing units approved in 2006 as Barrett Hill, located on Mount Ebo, Lot 6, a plus-minus 29-acre parcel in the OP-2 zoning district to non-age restricted units, the proposed project. Whereas the proposed project is located at 41 Mount Ebo Road North, Town of Southeast New York, in the OP-2 zoning district in the town of Southeast, and whereas on September 3rd, 2015, the Town Board of the Town of Southeast declared its intent to be lead agency in a 3-2 vote, and whereas on or about September 15th, 2015, the declaration of intent to be lead agency and Part 1 of the Environmental Assessment Form, EAF, was circulated to the involved and interested agencies, and whereas on September 28th, 2015, the Planning Board of the Town of Southeast voted unanimously to contest the Town Board serving as lead agency and declared its intent to seek lead agency status, and whereas the Town Board recognizes that the Planning Board as an involved agency with substantial experience in reviewing similarly sized applications and zoning text amendments is qualified and willing to serve as lead agency, and whereas the Town Board seeks to resolve the lead agency designation within the required 30 days, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Southeast hereby rescinds its intent to be lead agency for purposes of SECA for this Type 1 and coordinated action, and recommends that the Planning Board serve as lead agency.
So does everyone understand that aspect of it? So, discussion.
We need a second for
Okay,
discussion. I'll second for discussion.
Okay. Who would like to start?
The reason I voted for us to be lead agency is because it has to come back to us anyway, unlike other projects, because we're the ones that make the final zoning change if we're gonna make a zoning change. So I just felt that I would like to be part of the whole process. So that's why I personally voted for us to be lead agency.
Okay.
And I will basically mimic what Bob just said, add a little bit more. Bottom line is, we are in charge of this town, and as such, and after having experienced all of the, let's just call it travails of the recent Crossroads project, I believe that this board is a very capable, focused board, that we have the tools to move forward as the lead agency. That's why I voted for it. I have a great respect for the members of the board. I believe that we are, once again, more than able to review this project. I respect, and particularly, especially respect, now that they have joined together to say that it's a 7-0 vote, that they would do this. I have nothing against their expertise in this matter, but once again, I believe that this is a strong board, that we should be involved in this matter, and I want to be involved in this matter. Believe the board should be involved in this matter from the beginning through the end.
Mr. Hudak, Mr. Alvarez?
I echo Bob and Liz's sentiments. I voted yes for the same exact reasons. I felt that I wanted to be involved right from the beginning. And why have the planning board do it and then come back to us? So that's that. I mean, I can't really add much more to it than that. It's already been said.
Ms. Eckhart?
I believe that this can and should be handled by the planning board. Especially because they feel adamantly about it. They're hired, so to speak, or appointed by the town board to do this work. A lot of things do come back, not for a rezone like this, but do come back to us for approvals. I also don't think it's, although I don't think it'll cost a lot of money, occupying our town planner or paying someone to write comments to send to the DEC, I don't think is money well spent. I trust the planning board to come up with, they're used to doing this. I know we've done it. I don't think it was particularly enjoyable for the town board to do it. I don't shirk my duty at all, but I think in this case, the planning board is well equipped and should handle it, even if it does come back to the town board later. I see no reason that this should be streamlined for a developer.
I voted for the planning board to get it. I do believe we have the capabilities. I know we did Crossroads and will be doing Crossroads. I think we could do the same here. But I just would rather have this go to the planning board, because even though we review it, we still then would have, if we do the lead agency, the planning board gets 2 shots at the same. So it's 6 of one, half dozen other. So we'll take a roll call vote on the fact that we would rescind. Now, if you vote no, not to rescind, then it will go to the DEC, and I have to learn whatever that process is. This is kind of unprecedented, that we have to make application. I think the planning board will make up application, and the town board. And I would just suggest that maybe since we're split, if the board is split 3-2, should we write 2 or just 1? How do we write ours?
I think what happens is the controversy, if you will, the two boards, each seeking lead agency status, will present, our resolutions to the Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Conservation, and the DEC Commissioner makes the final ruling as to which agency would be lead agency. Doesn't mean that either one of them won't be an involved agency, but
Right.
one will lead the process as far as making determinations of significance, which every involved agency has an opportunity to chime in on. So, I mean, if the town board were to be lead agency and you were to make a determination that there would be a significant environmental impact by the proposal, the planning board could have a say in that process as well. So it's just a matter of who determines who leads the process, and or what whether you relinquish your role to the planning board, or you leave it to the DEC commissioner to determine, and they will determine who has the more significant stake in the matter, if you will.
Okay, if I can just clarify. So what you're saying is that if this board this evening defeats that resolution that I just read, that the DEC then is going to make its determination on whether the planning board of the town of Southeast or the town board of Southeast is the lead agency in this matter for seeker purposes.
Correct.
Okay. And what is presented to the DEC to help them formulate their determination?
Anything you wish to, the town board wishes to, the majority of the town board wishes to submit. I mean,
Well, what would it be in the nature of, just so that I understand?
it could be a letter, it could be a memorandum of law, it could be a number of different things. But it's the only experience I've had with this particular situation goes back to when there was a disagreement between the town of Carmel and the town of Southeast regarding the reopening of Kelly Road. And there, it was a matter of the two involved agencies submitting their intention to become lead agency, and it was ruled on independently by the Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Conservation. I don't recall that either town put in any major submissions.
So the town board and the planning board is free to submit whatever it is to support their position that they be the lead agencies. Similarly to if right now another involved agency, instead of us, wanted to be the lead agency. That's essentially it.
Correct.
Okay, so it's just a regular process. Has nothing to do with the difference between a planning board and a town board in the same municipal entity?
No.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Now, is yes to rescind, or no, you vote no not to rescind?
Councilman Alvarez.
No.
Councilman Cullen.
No.
Councilwoman Eckhart.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hudak.
No.
Supervisor Hay.
Yes. Okay, we'll wait the DEC's decision. And if the town board wants to write something, prepare something with Will to send it in accordingly. How much time do they have, Will?
I believe I don't know that the actual regulations require one way or another, but I would say.
Say ASAP.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
If, and then Will would be in a position of also, if the planning board needed some legal guidance on it, to also provide guidance to the planning board?
Yes. You wouldn't have a conflict in that anyway, right, Will? They're going to have their rationale as to why, and the town board will have theirs?
I'm just reading something.
Okay. Hope you're doing a better job than I did.
Just while we're waiting for Will, I just wanted on the record too that I have full faith in our planning board. Not trying to slight them or take their job, but because of the uniqueness of this case, because it has to come back to us, I want to be part of the whole process.
It appears, according to our planning consultant, the involved agencies have 10 days to submit their comments on why they should be lead agency and 20 days for the DEC commissioner to designate the lead agency, so.
How many
So
days?
10.
within the next 10 days.
And then 20 days thereafter?
20 days thereafter, the DEC commissioner is supposed to make their ruling.
When does that clock start ticking?
Yeah.
The night that they
I would
approve?
say it probably started ticking on Monday
The
night.
28th.
Okay, so by Monday, if you could work with Will to get something prepared to send in by Tuesday at the latest. Okay. Number 11, we're back to town clerk will present the 2016 budget to the town board. I did email it to each of you, and this is just the official copy by law that we're providing you this evening. I got mine. I prepared it. With your help.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
And we were been short a copy. I discussed it basically last month, or actually our last meeting, identifying, the shape of the town and what the budget is prepared. It's ready to go. We stay within the tax cap. And I look forward to the budget hearings that we'll be having. We'll have a public hearing, we designated, public may comment. It's been posted on the web. I think, I'm not sure if it is there yet, or we'll do it tomorrow morning, but it'll be there for the public. I had to put it in two separate documents, unfortunately, like page 1 to 86 and 87 to page, whatever the last number, 100, whatever it is. Only because it was too big, not size-wise, money-wise, which it is, but because it just wouldn't fit in the computer when I went to scan it. I was afraid it would, get stuck or something, so I did it in two sections. I'd rather have one document, which we're still gonna try to get when Ron comes back. I'm gonna ask him, can he forward a PDF of the file down? I could not do it with mine, and Ron wasn't here to help, do that. So on Monday, when he comes back, if there's a way, we can send the full budget, which I think we did last year, but I couldn't do it because I want the public to have as much time to review it. So I got that out to them, or we'll get it out to them tomorrow. And on Monday, if there's a way to make it one solid document on the internet, we will do that. But if not, it's there to be read in two versions. So with that, recognition of the public.
Good evening, Peter Bell. A few meetings ago, we discussed food trucks. I know Bob has been working on it, and I know Ashley has come up with some ideas and some information about different towns and how they did it. I personally have gone to most all the restaurants in the town, many of which I hope are sending Bob an email. I printed out that blurb that you had on the town of Southeast, and all I'm finding is positive response. So my question for the town board is, where do we go from here? And how do we go from here?
Mr. Collins leading the charge? Tell him.
Well, I heard from nobody, no other restaurants. Because when I get an email, I share it with the rest of the board. The only one I heard from is Clock Tower. I know he's interested in going down to the train station in the morning. We have to kind of get Will to weigh in on that. He'd like to be there from 5:30 to
Clock
9.
Tower or the
The
Booster
Clock
Station?
Tower Grill. No, well, I mean, maybe someone else's, but
Yeah.
you see, that's the problem now because, who are we gonna give it to if we do?
Sure.
How do we develop a fee? But the owner, Rich Parente from Clock Tower, did approach me, and he would like to go down there 5:30 to 9, Tuesday through Friday. He wants to even, pay a fee to us. We don't have anything set up yet, so I told him it's on hold. I have not heard from any other business. Some residents chirped in, and one or two of them were supportive. Most of them, I think, were supportive. One woman had an issue with the ice cream truck going around at dinner time and, taking her kids off the dinner table. As that stands now, that's illegal anyway, because they're not supposed to be going around unless they're a veteran. So, I don't know. I mean, I wish we had a little bit more input from the public, but we really haven't.
Well, this is, the best thing to do is prepare, you, Peter, sit down, formulate what you think is a good policy, other people's policies, come forward to the board, make a presentation in a work session, and then we'll have a public hearing on it and move on from there.
Okay.
So the ball's in your gentleman's court to do what you gotta do, bring it back to us, and we'll discuss it accordingly.
I mean, I don't think we want, a plethora of food trucks parked all over town, but if we start off maybe limiting 5 permits or something like that a year, and
Yeah, I was,
maybe seasonal permits, or, but,
all right, so when,
Yep.
we'll get together and go from there.
yeah.
We need something to discuss. So
Understood.
once you have something, we discuss it.
Thank you.
Okay? Anyone else from the public?
John Lord, wanted to ask what the status is of the bridges that are closed in town. The one up by the train station, Metro North, the old
Prospect
townhouse.
Hill.
Yeah, and the one down at the village, that's down by the Electro-Zone field.
Okay. The MTA bridge, I believe we have that online. They're putting it out this year to find contractors to go out to bid. And around 2019 and 2020 is when they anticipate reopening. That's almost 10 years after they said it was going to be closed for 6 months. As far as the Morningthorpe Bridge, it's been closed for quite some time. My understanding is that the county has $2 million, I'm not sure where the money's coming from, to renovate that bridge as a walk-in bridge.
Tony, I did hear Roger Gross was at the Team Brewster meeting this morning.
Okay.
So they have, their date for opening is, I think it's going to be, by the time it's open, it's a 302-day project once they start construction.
And when's that going to be?
Next year, so it's probably 2017. It could be a little, because it's, I think that's, or the end of 2016, but I think it's early 2017.
Okay, so
Thank you.
2017 based on information
That-
really fresh.
Yeah, Roger just passed out.
Okay.
And,
2019 for the other one.
yeah.
Yes.
And the MTA bridge in the village, they have put that on their schedule. That's going to be done,
Route 6.
the Route 6 bridge. Yeah,
By the firehouse.
yeah.
Right.
So they are going to, they have, I think they have design work out on that. And that's scheduled to be, that's going to be done before Prospect Hill, I believe.
And that one's going to be a nightmare
Yeah,
When they close, yeah.
for traffic. It's going to be one way, somehow it's going to be a mess.
I mean, one should be done, Prospect should be done first, or I guess they really can't. Just as
No,
a-
they have to go,
now.
they're in the construction phase part now. They're out there seeking bids from architects to, draw up the plans accordingly. And 2-year time frame, go out to bid the following year, and then the following year construction.
That won't be tied into any parking project that they.
Not that we've
No.
seen thus far. Can't speak for what they plan to do. All I know is I heard they had about $19 million for that project. And personally, if it's more than $3 million, it's too much. But they got 19.
And we were working with Neil Zuckerman he lives over in Phillipstown, and he's a really wonderful liaison to the MTA, and we were able to bump it up by 3 months. So it wasn't terribly successful. They've taken off 3 months. They say they need a full year for the design and, engineering. So it just takes as long as it takes, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Town board members? I'm going to ask that we're going to close the meeting, but before we close, I want to make a motion to go into executive session. I have a few items on personnel matters and litigation matters. I shouldn't be more than 10 minutes, but no action will be taken. I'm just doing it for an update on some matters that came forward in the past few days. So, no comment from then. I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session. Camera, basically, we're not going to do any type of action inside, just information only. So when we wrap it up, you can close it up, and Michelle, I can tell you when we come out, you don't have to stay. Okay, make a motion to go into executive session as described.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming this evening.
Thank
Good
you.
night.